Welcome back to What Arty Noobs. This is an M44, the Tier 6 American SPG. It's located on the west spawn of Paris under the command of WeeeWhat. Battle started. Well, as you may know, it's a 155mm howitzer based on a Walker Bulldog hull, and it's a pretty powerful Arty because it can pump out a shell. Well, in this case, on this one, 17.17 seconds per shot. And that's an awful lot of damage in anyone's books. But instead of actually going out to the field, as you would normally expect, WeeeWhat's decided to fire from just behind the cap. And that might be an interesting move. Okay, well, we've got an enemy tank turned up. It's an SP1C. And a shell came in just as he was moving into position. But it didn't hit him. He managed to avoid it, but there's also a Panther M10 there now as well, so maybe WeeeWhat will be able to lob a shell over the buildings into those two. Rounds out. Okay, that one landed near where the SP1C was last seen. Now, if he does hit them, even if he just splashes them, they're probably going to get really upset because they're being hit from an angle they can't see where he is. And that one hit the target. No explosion, and the bush went over, or tree went over at the same time. So we definitely know we hit one, and I would suspect it's the SP1C. And he doesn't have that much in the way of hit points or armor. WeeeWhat fires another one in, and he hits something again. And if that was the SP1C, he's probably down to 0 hit points now, or just above 0, probably a couple of hit points. We might see a few shells zip across the battlefield. Oh, there's a T-52 and he's retreating. And look at that, he's got virtually no hit points left at all. That must have been the recipient of the shells. Okay, WeeeWhat's having a look over in the corner to see if he can spot an enemy vehicle. I heard some fields being destroyed. And he fires a round in, and he's just killed the M44. Blind shot kill. He saw the tracer come out of that bush. And I heard some fences being knocked over. And sometimes in Battle Assistant you can hear destruction of the scenery. And that gives you a clue that there's somebody there, but you can't tell it precisely. You can tell generally where things have been by what they have done, but it's just the way that the Battle Assistant actually shows you those things that have been done that enables you to actually get a shot in that general direction. Well, he's just fired around into that corner. Oh, and he hits both of them. More damage on the T-3485M, who just turned up and lost a huge amount of hit points as a result. 118 hit points off that. I think he's still there. Rounds out. Oh, it fell to one side. I've noticed that RNG has been very unkind to Arty players just recently. I've been playing some occasional matches and I've noticed that shells have been going nowhere near the aim point, which is very surprising. They'll go wildly to one side or the other. And you'd think that if you're fully dialed in on a target and it's stationary, then the shell should hit the target. Oh, yes! What a shot! He got that T-3485 on the move. He went behind the building and, well, the shell arrived just as he arrived there. That's another brilliant kill. Rounds out. Well, that one hit the ridgeline. Okay, Super Hellcat's making his way across the battlefield, but the building's getting in the way now, so unfortunately, from the position he's in, he can shoot at them when they're in the back, and he can shoot at them when they're behind that ridgeline, but he'll have difficulty if they move forward, because unfortunately, the building he's fairly close to actually does get in the way, because in order to lob a shell over that building, you actually have to depress the gun, not raise it. And that means that it can actually be very difficult to get shots on target. Okay, he's looking around for another target he can hit. No, he's just getting nothing but red lines. When you see that red line appearing from the bottom, going up to the aim point, I'm afraid that means there's some obstruction in the way, and you can't shoot. And if you do shoot, you'll just hit the building or the obstruction, whatever it is. There's a red line there. All of those are red lines. No shots. That's the unfortunate thing of being in that position, and it looks like the enemy is now pushing over the field quite rapidly, and his position is going to become untenable very soon because, yeah, the enemy is now 5 tanks up on his team. The Hellcat is, well, just got derped by a Jagdpanther 2. He's looking around for a target he can shoot at, but there's nothing he can go for. All the buildings are in the way. That's the bad position about that. Now he'll need to turn to his left quickly because the SP1C is about to appear around the corner, and he's now the last one left alive on his team. The SP1C is headed this way. Oh, he's been seen. There's the SP1C. Oh, he shotguns him right in the face, but he has received damage from... Oh, there you go. The Panther M10 got him in the end. 3 shots into him. The last shot for just 14 hit points took him out of the game, and it is a loss, but he was the last one alive in that game. Let's have a look at the end of battle stats. Well, yes, it was the 3rd class tank for WeeeWhat in the M44. He also got a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. He got 13 in that one, and his win rate for the game was 5,478, which is a very good Super Unicum game. It's Super Unicum score. But unfortunately, yes, it was a loss because the rest of his team were up to it, really. They were pretty naff. Well, let's have a look at the team score. Well, you can see this. He did have the highest damage on his team, 2,211 hit points, but it wasn't enough to save the day. Unfortunately, there was 2 members of the enemy team who scored higher than he did. The IS-3 managed to get a high caliber for 2,781 hit points. The ISU-130 managed to get 2,410, and then it was WeeeWhat with 2,211. When it came to kills, well, he actually shared the 2nd spot because the Panther M10 managed to get 4 kills and he was the last one. And then there's 3 with 3 kills, including WeeeWhat, the IS-3 and the IS-130. And when it came to base XP, well, it's the IS-3, the ISU-130, and then the Panther M10. And WeeeWhat, well, he did fairly well, 580. It's not bad. It's better than all of these players on the enemy team, but not better than the top 5 on the enemy team, I'm afraid. But let's have a look at the detail report. He fired 11 shots, got 6 direct hits and 2 penetrations, 9 splash, damage of 2,211 hit points, of which 1,692 were at more than 300 meters. Those were the shots that he fired over the buildings. The close one was that SP1C, who he shotgunned right in the face when he got very, very close. 3 hits received from the enemy, all from the Panther M10, and all 3 were penetrations. Yeah, that 75mm gun on the Panther M10 is actually quite strong, and of course the armor on the M44 is negligible. 5 enemy vehicles damaged, 3 killed, and 6 enemy vehicles stunned. He didn't get any stun assist out of that game at all, though. Most of the shots he actually fired did actually either impact on the enemy, or they were actually hidden at the time, and his teammates couldn't shoot them or didn't shoot them. He also got 1 defense point. I think that counts against the SP1C while he was in the cap, only for a brief moment before he was vaporized. On a free-to-play account, he earned 25,945 credits, got 45,000 credits for completing the mission, and 70,945 together. And after repair and ammunition resupply, took away 62,354 credits. He earned 580 base XP, and because this was a loss, there's no multipliers, so that's all the experience points he took away. So, sadly, a loss, but WeeeWhat's found another firing position which we can use, certainly from firing at the back of the cap there, you can shoot into the field quite effectively. The only problem is when you need to fire at the enemy, if they move forward, you can't shoot them because they're just too close to the buildings and the buildings get in the way. So it's good for shooting into the field, but nothing else. So if you enjoyed that replay, please give this video a like and do subscribe to our channel, and thank you for watching.